It's Business Breakfast, broadcasting to you live from our studios in Lagos, Southwest Nigeria, iBrandTV headquarters. Now let's get talking now. This is not the best of time for West Africa's largest economy as Nigerians and inarguable in one of their toughest times in recent time. Evidently, Nigeria's inflation rate rose to a 21-year high of 31.7% in February 2024, which according to the National Bureau of Statistics data is the highest since 2003. Soaring food prices have been a major challenges in Nigeria since after President Bola Tinubu announced the end of the fuel subsidy payment during his inauguration on May the 29th, 2023. These have seen different forms of protests in the country, from Niger to Kano to Osun and some other parts of the country. Now, the upward trend in the prices of these staples as well as other products has weakened the purchasing power of many citizens, making it difficult for many households in the country to afford daily meals, with more and more people sliding into poverty. Amid these economic challenges, the big question now is, what are the best alternative source of income for many households who are currently living below the $1 to a naira on a daily basis? To give us more information on this and other macroeconomic issues, I'm now being joined live virtually by the head of equity trading, Interstate Securities and Mutual Fund Limited, Vincent Oshoma. Good morning, sir. Glad to have you join me on the program this morning. All right, then, before we dive straight into the other aspect of our conversation, which has to do with generating alternative source of income to make one sustainable during these dire times, let me get your thoughts about inflation. In less than an hour from now, the National Bureau of Statistics will be coming out with the March inflation report. But before we get to that figure, let me get your thoughts now. Many people are saying that inflation will continue to rise and rise and rise. So with the expected figure, what are you projecting? Some are saying the inflation figure will get to 32.5%, 32.6%, and even higher than that. What is your own projection? What are you looking at? And what fundamentals do you think will necessitate the hike in inflationary pressure?
Yeah, I expect to see a moderate increase in the inflation figure, judging from the fact that some of the, though we are experiencing a receding in some of the factors that have caused the inflation, without one being the exchange rate, but they would saw that there was some increase before we started seeing receding sometime in March and mainly in April. So because the figure is going to be, the figure we're expecting today is for March. So we expect to see an increase, but I think it's going to be a moderate increase before we start saying for April. We expect to see gradually slowing down, continue slowing down before we see the mainly.
All right. Now, let me quickly get your thoughts on this now. The price of food commodities in the market seems to be skyrocketing. Now, in Nigeria, it's a common parlance that when you go to the market and you ask for the price of a commodity and it's on the high side and you ask, what is the cause of the hike in price? They will tell you, oh, dollar has gone up. But now the naira is gaining more momentum, beating the dollar so hard that it has even gone lower than many people thought or even imagined. Despite this situation, be that as it may, was he seeing the cost of food commodities in the country still at the high side? What do you think is responsible for this? And what should the government at the federal and subnational level be doing to bring this particular situation under control?
It's quite unfortunate, but the common excuse that people will give is the fact that when there is an increase in prices, when there's an increase in rates, so people usually switch to the current price, talk about increasing it because of the fact that they are going to be buying at the higher rate when they go back to the market. But when there is a reduction in rate, they'll tell you the fact that they have already stocked up, so they need to sell out the stock. I think it has to do with some of the. I think one thing I will attribute to that is that the rate change is quite a strict one. It's quite volatile. I think that's one of the reasons that is causing those things, and also we are not seeing a lot of opportunities, participants, alternatives. I think so. The few people that are in the market are controlling the price. I think that's one of the reasons. Because if you see there's real competition, we should be able to drive prices down. But I think so. What the government can do is for the government to monitor and also work with those producers and also sellers to see what it can do to respond to the idea that prices reflect what is currently happening with respect to the foreign exchange.
But at what point, despite the stability we're seeing in the foreign exchange market, at what point are we going to see a kind of downward trend of our inflationary rate in the country? Just a few weeks ago, we saw Ghana's inflation rate is also reducing as well. At a point, Ghana had an inflation rate of 50%, but now the inflation rate is at 24%, and Nigeria's inflation rate is at 31%, with a projection of 32%. Now, at what point are we going to begin to see a kind of depreciation, a kind of reduction rather, in inflation pressure in the country?
Yeah, like I mentioned, with the downward trend in rate, definitely it will flow in as time goes on. Okay, we are currently in Q2. I think before the end of Q2, we may see, because one thing about inflation is not just about the increase. The rate of increase is also matters. So with this stability in rate and deceleration in rate, I think we will start seeing deceleration in rate of increase. And maybe by the end of this quarter, we can start seeing inflation trending down, depending on how the level of liquidity we continue to have in the forex market. So that is and we need to see relative stability for a period in the forex market in terms of liquidity, and that will also encourage stability and encourage inflation to trend downward. And once we see inflation trending downward, I think the CBN and the monetary policy managers will definitely look at ways of reducing the rate, because we need to encourage growth in the economy. With this current rate of 24.75%, I think it's difficult for us to really have real growth in the economy.
All right, now let's focus now to the big one now that we're going to look at now, alternative source of revenue for Nigerians amid rising inflation. As it seems right now, it has become a situation whereby having just one source of income is no longer sustainable in our current economy now. What kind of alternative source of income should those in the 9-to-5 sector of the Nigerian economy be engaging themselves into that will not affect the productivity of what actually is their major source of income? And how can they explore other aspects of investment in the country?
Yeah, there are different. Definitely, it's generally acceptable that depending on one source of income is not a wise thing to do. You need to have multiple streams of income, because it's quite risky to depend on one source of income. In business, when you have one product, bringing in income is quite risky. You need to diversify your income stream. So as an individual, you need to diversify your income stream. And in developing alternative sources of income, you have to look at different factors. There are a lot of things you can do to enrich income, dividend income, and also income from royalties and everything, capital gains and everything, all that of shopping. But one thing you must do is, like you mentioned, you must start building and looking at things that will not compete with your primary source of income, and until your secondary source of income is giving you as much as your primary source of income. So the first thing, you have to prioritize your primary source of income, and also look at your passion in terms of what are your passion and interest. Those are the things you can look at. How can you monetize your things that you are passionate about, things that you are interested in, developing a business opportunity in those things, the source of income with your passion, monetizing it. And especially in this age of digitalization, you can also digitize your skills, digitize your interests, your area of interest. Put things that you like doing, you can put them online and look at ways of any income that promoting them online. So there are different ways of you have to look at the passion, you have to look at your interest, and also you have to look at opportunities around you. There are a lot of opportunities around in terms of their shortages in supply with respect to demand in areas around you. So in trying to plug those shortages, you can also develop sources of income. But like I said, it has to understanding until your secondary source of income is giving you as much money as your primary source of income. Then you can now switch to becoming your primary source of income.